Did Kevin call you? Just now. Right. Oh, hi.
Hi, we're back.
We're back.
I was, when I was a member of Bon Air, I met this gentleman and became a good friend of mine. His name is Ron Smith. And Ron just loves golf. When I met him, I think he was in his early 60s, and he's a former Marine. I've learned not to say ex-Marine.
Ex-Marine, right.
Former Marine.
Right.
And he just had a physicality about him, and he worked out, and he went to the gym. And he really, for somebody 60 years old, early 60s, he would really pound the ball. And that's what he would do. He would pound the ball. And every now and then, he would pound it, and he would hit it left. And the next thing he would do is he would try not to hit the home run and make it go right. And I see that all the time. I used to tell Ron, when you hit that ball left, don't worry about it. And Ron, I'm talking to you right now. That's the move you want to do.
Yeah.
You're just doing what I do all the time, and I just hit it too early. As you guys know from the site, the first time he saw me hit a ball, he said, yeah, that's pretty good, but you hit it too damn early. And then I had to say, what do you mean too damn early? I've never heard that term before. And that's what got me started on this journey. Well, the reason I bring up Ron Smith now, I hope, Ron, you see this episode one time. I had lunch with Ron about 7 or 8 years ago. And 7 or 8, maybe even 10 years ago. And 10 years ago was a time in my life where I'd actually gone from being a pretty good amateur golfer to less than good. And the reason I became less than good was I met you. And that's as a compliment, because I was trying to figure out what you were telling me. And I was working at it so hard that I went in the translation bill.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the guy who gave me that word, translation. And it makes so much sense in the world. Is every time I hit a good shot, I had to try to pick it apart and figure out why I hit the good shot. But every time I hit a bad shot, I realized I had to fix my swing. So when Ron and I were having lunch, and he said, well, how you doing? I said, I'm doing pretty good. And he says, well, how's the game? And when he asked me that question, it was a very leading question, because he knew I was struggling. And my answer to him was, hey, the game is great. I've never had so much more fun in my life, Ever since I've started following AJ and talking to AJ, I know more about what I'm trying to do now than I ever had. And that was the case, Just trying to figure out why I hit a good shot, mm-hmm. and why it bothered me so much when I hit a bad shot. But I just, it's amazing. When I get over the ball right now, and you used the word in the previous segment, it's responsibility. All I'm trying to grasp is responsibility. And when you first told me about hitting the ball too early, I didn't understand it. Now I understand it. But I've gone to the next step where I don't worry about hitting it too early or hitting it too late. I just try to take responsibility for hitting it correctly, for making the ball do what I wanted to do. And the whole process is so damn hypnotic. You know what I'm talking about? I mean,
yes, I do.
People like me, when we get up on that tee and we put that ball there and it's just sitting there, we try to do something different. And you make it so simple.
Well, it is simple. It just, if it was hard to do, I couldn't do it.
Right.
I mean, it's, just an ordinary athlete, played everything growing up.
Right.
My older brother was a better athlete. Hand-eye coordination was better. I mean, he just was. It was a good athlete, and I was the ordinary, kind of maybe a little above average. I played everything.
Right.
Which is why, and everything was, easy enough to do. Guys were better than me, and guys weren't as good, but I was somewhere in there, I was never picked last.
Right.